All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Asia here, and we are back with episode 3 of Run the Play Friday. Today is September 1st, so welcome into September. I'm a September baby, so this is my birthday month, my birth month. So, start September off right. But yeah, welcome to another episode of Run the Play Friday, where I take your questions and I try to answer them to the best of my ability and give my personal perspective and opinion. On the topic or the questions that you guys have. You can submit your questions in the comment section below, or you can click the link in the description box, and you can go there and fill out a form to uh, fill out a form to submit your questions. Uh, but yeah, make sure you leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos. I just dropped another video today, just like a little update on what's been going on and just kind of shedding some of my thoughts and my perspective on a few things. But yeah, man, we're gonna get right into it. Got a few questions here. It's not gonna be a long one today. Just because it's just been one of those weeks where I'm just kind of like doing what I need to do, getting done what I need to get done. And then I just can't wait to just relax and do nothing, or as little as possible for the weekend. And it's a 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend for me because I took extra day off. So yeah, yeah, so let's get into it. I'm filming this live on YouTube, streaming it live, because I really wanted to get into that 4K, just making sure everything looks crispy, right? Got a great camera, so why not utilize the platform for what it's made for? So I'm currently filming this live, and then I'm gonna make it public. It's unlisted right now. Then I'm gonna make it public, uh, and go from there. And then in the future, I may do these live, like actual in real time, for public viewing, so we can get comments and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just doing what I do. But let's get right into it. The first question I got is, what is a day in the life like for you? So for me, um, and I have a routine, but it's not a routine, but I'm trying to get back into a routine. And I feel like I struggle with this often, is just falling out of that routine. But really, a day in the life for me, for those who know, I do have a 9 to 5 job. So Monday through Friday usually is waking up. I wake up around 6:30 a.m. Do my little morning routine, stretch, hygiene, shower, and stuff like that. Um, right now, I've been doing the Peloton. I haven't done it in the past couple of days, but I've been doing the Peloton in the morning. Then getting in the shower and getting my day started that way. And I think it's really helps. It helps me mentally because you feel like you conquer something for the day, whether it's 10 or 15-minute bike ride. It just helps with that boost, that confidence boost, that just feeling like you've accomplished something already. Starting the day off right. So I do that. Then it's usually me going to just going to work. um, I kind of have a set calendar. I'm kind of reorganizing my calendar now because I'm taking on a little bit more responsibility at work. So I'm trying to structure and reprioritize things as I need them, to occur, and I need to, do them. So go to work. I'm at work anywhere from like 9 to like 4:35. Um, I work hybrid, so I'm 3 on, 2 off. So 2 days out of the week, I'm working from home, and I usually keep about the same schedule when I'm working from home as I am with in the office. So that means working up until like 12 or 1, taking a lunch, getting back at it. And I get to work, it's kind of like checking my emails, going over my task list. We use Monday.com for our project management, going over that to see what is in the queue or what tasks need to be completed for the week or for the day, if anything new has popped up. Um, I'm in a lot of meetings usually throughout the week. A few days out of the week are like heavy meeting days, whether it's virtual or in person. Um, and yeah, man, just getting my stuff together. I do graphic design and social media content marketing. So from website design, I do a little bit of everything. So UX, UI, website design, graphic design, as well as social media content creation. So um, Yeah, I think that's oh, yeah, and then after after I get off of work, I usually come home and I just kinda relax, for about an hour or 2, and then after that, I'm right back in the grind working on the businesses. So I do also own my own businesses. I'm a president of a nonprofit foundation. If you don't know, if you or if this is your first episode, you're tuning in, I'm the president of BeyondFour Foundation, just back there. Um, so I work on that. I'm working on making sure the business is structured the right way, also creating content for that business, creating content for myself, planning out YouTube videos, um, you name it. I'm kind of doing it. I'm multi hyphenated. So yeah, I'm just working on things that I love to do aside from my 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 is cool. It's pretty relaxed environment, but it can get pretty busy when it gets into like event season for some of our philanthropic efforts. So yeah, maybe one day I'll go. I think I did, I did a day in the life of a marketing manager video. So if you want to check that out, you can. But I may do an updated day in the life video soon. Next question is, what's better, short or long form content? Short or long form content? I don't think either is one is better than the other or one is less valuable than the other. If you're creating content, you're creating content. The thing that matters the most is that you are doing something, that you're doing it, that you're putting in the work, that you are posting the videos, whether it be Instagram stories, whether you take your phone, hit it like this for like 30, 40 seconds, whether you are creating long form content on YouTube, and then you are taking that long form content and cutting it down to into short form content for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook stories, things like that. So, or even clips on YouTube now or YouTube Shorts. So I don't think one is better than the other, but I do think you can do more with long form content than you can with short form. So you can take long form content such as this video that I'm doing right now, and you can take this, publish it on YouTube or wherever you're going to put it, and you can break that down and take clips from that. So you can have the long form content that lives, and then you can take like the hot takes from that, or the key moments from that video, and you can create that short form content from it. So if you're looking for an easier way to create content and to create multiple forms of content, easier way to do that is to create long form content and then taking snippets from that long form content and publishing it across social media. So I don't think one is better than the other, but they both kind of work hand in hand. It really just depends on your personality and your style. How do you like making video? And nowadays, even with TikTok and Instagram, the short form content is becoming longer form. Like you can create up to 10-minute, TikToks, or you can go live on TikTok, Instagram as well. So it just depends on your level of comfort, really, and your preference. But for me, it's easier for me to create long form content like Run to Play Friday and then take clips from that and post across social media. Yeah. How did you manage your time when you were in college? I don't know if I answered this question, but for me, time management, um, I'm not gonna say I've always struggled with it, but I'm a big procrastinator. If I don't feel like doing something in the moment, I'm not gonna do it. I have to kind of, I work well under pressure. And a lot of people say, oh, you don't work well under pressure. You shouldn't do that to yourself and to your mind. I've always been like that. I'm always been a type of person that's like, okay, what's the task? Okay, when is it due? Okay, it's due today. All right, let's get it done. That's just been me, right? So time management, how I managed my time in college was really, I started just really utilizing my calendar a lot. Whatever was not in my calendar was not getting done. So I started utilizing my calendar to block out time for me to, whether it was to study, whether it was to do a discussion post, to do assignments. I started blocking out time on my calendar specifically for those tasks. Not a reminder, not in a task thing, but actually putting on my calendar, getting a notification just like I would when if I'm at work and I have to be at a meeting, or if I'm at work and I have to have a project that's due or something like that. I would block that time out in the calendar so that way I have a specific amount of time, whether it's an hour, whether it's 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, I blocked it out and I just got it done. Simple as that. It really wasn't like, oh, I'm planning out my entire week, I'm planning out my entire month. It was, well, I mean, to a point, it was planning it out because you get your syllabus at the beginning of the semester, and you can see what's due, when it's due. And for us, we have what we call, when I was at Georgetown, it's Canvas. A lot of schools use Canvas. So you can go into Canvas and you can see week by week when things are due. So you can literally take your Canvas or your syllabus and you can go down week by week, and then you can take that and put it into your calendar. Our Canvas had a module where you could actually export or import what was in Canvas to your Google Calendar. So you can just do that, and that's just a really easy way to just block out that set amount of time, right? You know when something's due, you know when you need to study. So just block those little things out during the day and set your day up that way so you have a routine. And my thing was like during the week, I would have a day for discussion post where I would do my discussion post. I have a day where I would respond to discussion posts, and then I would have a day where I would work on completing my assignments before they were due. So just blocking out time, really. Right. So next question is how did you get out of your purpose and your own way, or how did you get out of your own way and find your purpose? I think I answered this question before, but one of the ways that you get out of your own way is to become, you really have to sit with yourself and become self-aware of the things that you're good at, the things that you're not good at, and the things that you love to do. 9 times out of 10, the thing that you have gone through, the thing that you have struggled with usually is your purpose. Because you struggle with it because it's like you don't think that it's what you're supposed to be doing, but it's really what you're supposed to be doing. Um, and it takes some time for people to figure that out. So one of the ways that I say just getting out of your own way is to really be self-aware. Be self-aware and also understand that everyone else's process isn't yours. Every everyone else's purpose isn't yours. The journey that everyone else takes to get to success or to get to whatever it is that they're doing in life is not yours. Once you realize that, and once you realize that you have to believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, especially when it comes to other people's lives and how they're living their lives and how they're, what you see on social media and all this other stuff, within the world. Is like that stuff doesn't mean that you have to follow that exact path, right? You don't have to follow that exact path to reach your goals or your success. You have to do what works for you, and you have to fall in love with the process of finding your purpose, the process of becoming successful. Once you fall in love with that process, whatever that process looks like, 9 times out of 10, that's what you're supposed to be doing in life. So for me, it was really it took me over 10 years to really find out what I love doing, to really figure out what I was good at, and what I was passionate about, what my purpose was. Sometimes it takes people longer than 10 years. Sometimes it takes people less than 10 years. But you really have to fall in love with that process and that journey. That process for me looked like dropping out of college. That process for me looked like becoming an entrepreneur, going back to college, getting my graduate degree. Like that was my process. Some people drop out of college, they become entrepreneurs, and they straight up into multi-million dollar, making multi-million dollars and being super successful. Some people continue going to school. They come out of high school, go straight into college and keep going, and they reach that level of success that way. Or they go into college, they keep going and they fail, right? And then they have to start all over. So I would say in order to get out of your own way, you just have to become self-aware, understand what you're good at, understand what you're not good at, and also In order to find your purpose, you have to go through the process, right? You have to take that journey. And like I said, it may be 10 years, it may be 15 years, it may be a year, a month, whatever it is, it's going to be for you, right? Your purpose is your purpose. And trust me, once you go through that process and that journey of finding your purpose and finding out what you're passionate about and good at, is worth the wait. It's worth the wait. It's worth the journey because you learn so much leading up to success or leading up to that purpose and that goal or that mission that you have. You learn so much leading up to that. Um, so yeah, you just have to fall in love with the journey. Um, be self-aware and stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and do it for you. Not your parents, not your family, not your siblings, not your teachers, um, professors, not your friends. Do it for you. And once you are on that journey for yourself, things become so much clearer when you have the outside distractions out of the way, right? You put those blinders on and you focus on the goal and the mission, right? Plan A, plan B. That's it. Focus on plan A and focus on your plan B. Next one. Pretty good questions today. What's your process for securing sponsorship deals for events? Securing sponsorship deals for events. I believe I answered this question too, maybe in the last one or maybe the one before that. But securing sponsorships for events is really easier than a lot of people think it is, but you just have to put in the work. You have to do your due diligence. And you have to have a brand, a company, a product that is an event that people want to be a part of. So your why has to be very strong. For me, I'm not gonna say it hurts, but I'm not gonna say it helps, but it doesn't hurt to be a nonprofit and to have a fun and to actually be doing something in the community for our events. So I just reach out to people. I reach out to people who share um, the same uh, ethos. Like they share the same type of business mind. They have the same type of mission or vision for where they want their company to go. And if we line up and you are our target audience, I'm going to reach out to you. I have a list of companies, a list of organizations and people that I reach out to pretty regularly, especially leading up to certain events. And it's really easier. You just have to put together a plan, like have a business plan, have a marketing plan, have a vision, a mission statement, have a website. These different things have a way for people to see who you are. I can't reach out to you for an opportunity, or somebody can't reach out to me for an opportunity if I'm not visible. You got to be out there. You got to be out there so people can see what you're doing, so people can see the work that you're trying to do. Um, and market yourself effectively. Really, that's what it comes down to. Market yourself effectively, and then give value, and then reach out in hopes that somebody else can give you value. That's how you get sponsors for events. And I mean, it is much more to that. Like, it's much more detail that I can go into as far as writing your proposal statement, writing your emails, putting together a package, putting together, um, a sponsorship package, putting together a media package, putting together just collateral for your event or whatever it is, and actually having proof of concept. That's one thing that I preach on a lot, is like before you do something and you ask somebody for funds or you ask somebody for money, have a proof of concept. Do it, just do it off your back, right? Do it off of whatever it takes, have a little mini version of it. Do it virtually first, and then have that proof of concept and show that you can bring in people and that you can bring value to other people's lives or to your community or wherever you're trying to host your event. So it's a lot more that goes into getting sponsorships for events, but just that's pretty much like the gist of it. You know, proof of concept, build something that's great, um, market it effectively. All right. I'm going to take a few more questions, or I'm going to read a few more questions. Let's see. Um, Here's a good one. What is your favorite piece of advice? My favorite piece of advice is advice that someone gave me that I did not listen to. I was at school one day and a professor, I went to them for advice and was just talking to them about how I can, grow my company, how I can get more involved with sports, how I can do my own like nonprofit, which is kind of where BeyondFour Foundation kind of stemmed from, just that idea. And I went to this professor and he was giving me good advice, but then he told me like, oh well, you have to, I've always been a person that wears hats, even when I had hair before my alopecia came back. But I always been a person to wear hats, just was my thing, right? And they were basically like telling me to s- that I had to look a certain way in order to attract business, or in order to be this type of person in sports, or to be this type of person in the sports industry or within sports business. And it sticks with me to this day because I remember the conversation very vaguely. It was like, oh, you need to, take the hats off, let down your hair, come out of like the t-shirts and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yo, this is just who I am. Like, I'm not about to change who I am just so that I can get to a certain place that I want to be, right? And you shouldn't have to change who you are to get to where you want to be. Um, you should look a certain way, look the part. Of course, I want to go into like a business meeting, like certain things. You just have to carry yourself accordingly. You have to dress the part. You have to dress like how you want to be portrayed, talk how you want to be portrayed. But at the same time, if you're knowledgeable, you know your stuff, and you're providing value, it shouldn't matter what you look like. It shouldn't matter how you dress, as long as you're providing value and bringing value to your audience, right? So that is one piece of advice that kind of sticks with me that I didn't follow. I didn't change who I was. I didn't change how I talked. I didn't change how I dressed or my appearance. I stuck with who I was, and that has gotten me into some very um, credible doors, meeting some very accomplished people. It has allowed me to accomplish a lot myself and throughout my journey. So yeah, not all advice is good advice, and not all advice comes from a genuine place. But you have to be able to decipher, um, and to you have to be able to decipher, and you have to be able to um, just discern what is good advice, what's bad advice, and if that advice is coming from a genuine place, if it's coming from the heart, if it's coming from, um, it's coming from a place of I'm not you, but I'm in this industry, and this is what I see in the industry. So you should kind of act the part like this. You can be yourself and get to where you want to be. It may take a little bit longer because you're being yourself, sadly. you know our society, our world really preaches and harps on being yourself, being true to you, being true to who you are, where you come from, your culture. But then when you try to be yourself and you try to be, who you are and stand for, who you are as a person and stand on your beliefs, right? They knock that down. So long story short, that was some of the advice that I've gotten. I did not listen to that advice. But if I was to give advice, I would say be yourself. Be yourself, but be polished, right? Be a polished version of who you really are. Be you. Be true to yourself. Be true to your values, your mission, your mission, your faith, your goals, your morals, your ethics, and bring value to other people's lives, right? And that'll get you far. So be yourself, bring value, and you'll be good. All right. And then one more question, and I thought this was a really good one when I read it, because I see so many different like podcasts or interviews or whatever, and they ask people the same question, and it's always a very different answer depending on the person, depending on the setting. But what inspires you is the question. What inspires you? Um, and for me, this could be, and it really didn't give any context to what topic or what field of inspiration. Like, it wasn't like what inspires you in business. It just says what inspires you. And I think The one thing that inspires me the most is failure, right? The one thing that inspires me the most is failure. It inspires me to love the process. It inspires me to start new businesses. Um, it inspires me to ask questions, right? To ask why. It inspires me to develop new perspectives, right? Failure inspires me to do so much because I embrace it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to be looked down upon. I'm not afraid of any of that. And I think it inspires me so much because it pushes me, it pushes me to be the best version of myself because I embrace it. Right. A lot of people are run from failure. And if you run from failure, you'll never be successful. Right. You cannot be successful without going through adversity, without having some type of failure along the way, or and learning those lessons that failure will teach you. Success doesn't teach you lessons, but the process of getting to success, the failures that you take along the way, teaches you the lessons that you need in order to maintain that success once you reach it. It builds character, it builds promise, it develops our potential. So I'm inspired every day, of course, like when it comes to design, graphic design development, when it comes to business development, running businesses. Of course, I'm inspired by the things that I see. I'm inspired by the things that other people have done, right? I'm inspired by other people's failures as well because if they didn't fail, if somebody before me didn't fail, I wouldn't be to where I am today. If somebody before me didn't say, didn't try to start a business, if somebody before me didn't try to post a video on YouTube and fail at it, and give their story, I wouldn't be posting this video today. So failure is the one thing that really pushes me to being the best version of myself, right? And I hope you guys don't hear all that thunder in the background because it is raining here. It's thundering. But yeah, failure is what inspires me, right? I embrace it every single day. I do things every single day, not caring if I fail or succeed, but just because of the process, right? Because of the process. So don't run from failure. Embrace it and let it inspire you to be the best version of you for you, right? Be the best version of yourself for yourself, not for anybody else. Because once you get to that position where you don't care about what other people think and you're only focusing on your success, you're only focusing on your failures, you're only focusing on um, your mission, your vision, right? That is where you begin to blossom and you begin to develop more as a person. And you, again, going back to that purpose, you begin to start understanding what your purpose is, right? Um, and you can't get too high or too low. You got to stay even. Like, I don't, if I fail at something, I'm not sitting and soaking in it for 3 or 4 or 5 days. I just get up and say, okay, on to the next thing. Um, Fail fast, fail often. That's a cliche saying, but it's true, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're going into content creation, or if you're trying to start your own business, or you work a 9 to 5. You're going to fail at some things. You're going to miss the mark on certain things, but you have to own it, take accountability for that failure, and move on to the next thing, right? And learn your lessons and move on, right? Do something different. Don't do the same thing twice, right? Unless it's beneficial, right? And I say don't do the same thing twice, but don't make the same mistakes twice, right? Don't make the same mistakes twice. So embrace failure. That's what inspires me, and it's what has helped me to. Sorry, it's what has helped me to become the best version of myself, right? I failed. I failed at school. I flunked out. I literally flunked out of school, came back home, tried it again, realized it wasn't for me. Some people say that was 2 failures. Started businesses, became successful at that. Then figured out it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So people could say that's a failure. Um, you know, just being in positions to where you don't know what your next move is. You don't know where your next meal gonna come from. You don't know, like, all of those things could be considered failures, but they teach you lessons along the way, right? I failed so many times to where now I can get up, stand up. I went back to college, was a success. Went to graduate school, was a success. Started my own business, and it's a success. Um, got to a position in corporate America, that's a success. But I wouldn't be able to be successful and not to gloat and not to uh, push this in anybody's face. But I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go through those failures, prior. If I didn't come over those that hill, and really find out my purpose. I had to fail, to figure out what I wanted to do so I could succeed. So long-winded response, but I really thought that was a really, really good question. Like, so what inspires you? And a lot of people don't say failure inspires them. Like, why would failure inspire you? But it does. It inspires me, and it pushes me to be the best version of myself that I can be, for me, short term and long term. So yeah. But on that note, this has been Run the Play Friday. Make sure you leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you comment below if you have any more questions, or if you want to share your perspective on some of the things, some of the topics, and some of the questions that we went over today. And yeah, man. Also subscribe to the channel for more videos. Back on a schedule. Last week was a little crazy for me, with the death of my uncle. So I took a little time off to just kind of regroup my mind. But yeah, we back better than ever. So make sure you leave a like. Again, leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. Comment below with your questions, or your perspective, or your comments in general, or if you want to say hi. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because more videos are coming to you guys every single week. All right, it's been Run to Play Friday. Run to play, don't fumble the bag. See you guys next week. Yeah, see you guys next week or in my next video. All right, peace.